Welcome to my workshop. You are watching Casual DIY channel, and in today's video a quick overview of a beast of a router from Trent, the T8 with 2200-watt motor, and it's a 1/2 inch router, so it will tackle those bigger bits for those more demanding jobs. But let's have a look at it. Obviously, you're going to get the manual, the router itself. You do get a vertical extraction spout, and I have to say it actually works quite well, and especially with my setup with the hose being on a boom arm, it works really good. Next, you are getting this plastic contraption. It's actually a router table safety clip that will allow you to safely use this router on a router table with a standard NVR system. So I'm definitely going to be checking this out when I'm going to be building a dedicated workbench, and this bad boy will be my main router in the workbench. This little piece of metal actually allows you to center the whole system, so you can use this router super precisely. You also get a hose adapter, a box with some bits and pieces, for example a centering pin and 1/4 inch collet. This handy key that comes in the package is for a very important feature that I'm going to show you a little bit later on. You also get a 30mm guide bush, and this thing of a beauty, that's the best side fence I have seen in a router. You got micro adjustment in it. It actually comes with a dust port as well. Underneath, just here, you can spread the fence apart and the dust just flies in there. But I'm going to show you how that works a bit later on. And with the pin that I showed you, you just put it in that place, you take the fence off, and you are able to cut out circles. Okay, so let's talk about some of the features this machine has so we can understand a little bit more what it's capable of doing, and then we'll start it up and I'll do some test cuts so we can see how it actually performs. First of all, 2200-watt motor, so there's plenty of power to tackle even the bigger panel bits, and as I said, it's a 1/2 inch router, so definitely a heavy duty machine. In total, it has got 11 speed settings, so whatever bit you've got, whatever the limit is for RPMs, you can be assured you will find a setting here for it. And actually, to help you out with choosing the right speed for your router bit, on top of the machine here, you've got the exact RPMs on each level. So maximum 26,000 RPMs, minimum 10,000 RPMs. It's a very good guide, as usually you do have some limits on some of the router bits, especially the larger router bits. So it's a very good info straight away on the machine itself. The plunge depth on this router is 80mm, so absolutely massive amount, and you can tackle even installing locks indoors without any issues at all. 80mm, plenty to do most jobs. On this side here, you've got the rotating turret with 7 settings to choose from. On top of the machine, you've got the fine height adjustment knob here, so you can really dial in the height of your cut. Let's flip this bad boy upside down and look at that plate. Okay, it's extra wide, it's extra large, that's 75mm, so you can install the really large router bits for those more demanding jobs. As we are already in this position, I'm just going to show you a couple of things. First of all, you've got 3 threaded holes here, and you can attach any additional jigs you may have for this specific router from Trent, or you can just make it yourself, so it will save you time and hassle to take off the plastic base here. You already got some screw holes that you can utilize for any jigs you've got. Next, as you can see in the middle ring here, you've got 4 holes in total. Okay, 2 of them, the threaded ones, are for the guide bush itself. Okay, so we located with the threaded holes here. Let me just grab the screws, put the screws, don't tighten them yet because we need to make sure that the guide bush is centered. And to make sure that the guide bush is centered, we've got this little handy metal device, okay? So we're going to whack it in the collet just like so. And now with the centering pin installed, we can plunge the base and that will center our guide bush. Lock the base, and as you can see, it has centered our guide bush in a nice and steady position, and now we can lock it in place. And the guide bush is now centered, and we can remove the pin. So as you can see, it's nice, quick and simple to install any bushings. And then that metal black frame, you don't have to move it again. If you want to swap in between different bushes you've got, you just remove the bush itself. Make sure not to lose those screws, and there you go. Metal bit is already centered. You can just change the bushings to different sizes. Now let me show you the dust port you actually are getting with this machine. It does need a bit of assembly, but it's the best so far I have seen on a router that I've used, and it's super sturdy and it just works quite well. First of all, we're going to take the black plastic hood off, and now we need to attach this to the router base. And remember those two holes underneath? You've got 2 bolts and nuts to do just that. The easiest way to do it is actually upside down, drop the bolts through, and lock them in place with the nuts. And yes, you can use the guide bush as well as the dust extraction port with no issues at all, as you've got different holes for the guide bush. On the black plastic, you've got this attachment here that actually goes in this slot. So we need to undo a screw that's located just over here. And now the black attachment goes in this slot that's just over here. And we can secure it with this bolt. So with that, there is no flimsy plastic. Everything's nice and stable and sturdy, and you don't have to worry about that your hose will break anything. And on top of that, you've got a hose adapter in case that your hose does not fit the main pipe here. One more feature, a quality of life feature if you wish. The machine itself comes with 2 quite strong LEDs. One is on this side, the other one is on the other side. And I have to say, sometimes on the routers the lights are there but you can't really see much. But with these, they are definitely very powerful, and for sure you'll see what you're doing with no issues at all. The next thing I want to show you is the side fence, okay? By far is the best I have seen with a router. It has got a few interesting features. So, for example, you've got the micro adjustment just over here, so you can really dial in the distance of your router bit from your material. Absolutely fantastic. But that's not all. The fence itself is nice and large, and you can reference off the edge of your work. But check this out. You can undo these screws just slightly, and now you can slide the plastic ends out of the way. So in that way you actually are extending the fence itself. This enables you now to use another addition, which is a dust extraction hood, okay? So basically it just slots in there like so, nice and sturdy, and it will collect all the dust from the routing. Absolutely fantastic addition and really well thought through. And to install the fence itself, as you would expect, is ever so simple to do. Just slide in the rods like that, lock it in place with those knobs at the top just over here. And I really do like the micro adjustment here. It works really great and will allow you for greater accuracy as you are making your cuts. Now, I actually left the best feature that this router has, at least in my opinion. It's actually a set of features that allow it to do a very specific job and be quite good at it. Okay, so this router is mountable on a router table. Okay, others do as well. However, several features that this router has make it a perfect tool that potentially can actually save you a lot of money, i.e. installing a router lift. You don't have to do that with this one. It actually has got a built-in system that eliminates the need of purchasing an extra external router lift. On top of that, it will work absolutely fine with an NVR switch if you've got one. I do for my router table, and I think it's a fantastic safety feature. I think nowadays with the law you actually should be having. First part of this system is the clip that comes with this machine. Okay, it will allow it to work with an NVR switch. So basically you connect the power cable to your NVR switch or an outlet. I would suggest getting an NVR switch. Basically you've got a button of some sort over here, and when you add the clip on, you can lock the on switch permanently. Okay, so usually you've got a safety pin at the back that you need to hold to be able to pull the trigger, and then the router works. But with the plastic clip, if I turn on the power, the machine will start. That's the first feature that comes with this machine. The second feature though is this threaded rod and the adjustment key. Okay, so it actually has got two purposes. As I said, you've got 80mm plunge depth. However, you can reduce that by using the key, and basically you will lower the router to this desired height. So if you got a smaller bit or anything like that and you don't want to travel the 80mm, you just want to make a quick plunge, you can actually reduce the traveling distance with this. However, the main feature of this rod is that it's compatible with a router plate. Okay, so as you mount this underneath your router table, over here you've got the entrance for this threaded rod, and with the key provided you can adjust the height of the router base. Okay, so no need for a router lift. It works like a charm with this addition. Absolutely super simple solution, but it works brilliantly. For me personally, it's a game changer. I don't want to spend another £300 on a router lift. It's already built in the router itself. Great stuff. Now, there's two ways you can attach this router to a router table. As I mentioned before, you've got the 3 screw holes, and you can mount this router through those screws to your router plate without the need of removing the black plastic plate. The plastic cover is only 3mm in thickness, so you are only losing additionally 3mm of plunge. But I think with 80 in total, you're going to be able to tackle all the jobs you need with this solution. However, there's another way. You can actually mount this router to a router plate, and Trend makes the router plate that's compatible with this particular router, and as you can see, you've got a notch with a pin over here, and they have developed a cam lock system that allows you to quickly attach this router to a router plate and take it off. Now currently I don't have that plate with that feature, but I really think it's a fantastic addition to this router and makes it even more versatile, as you don't have to spend minutes on undoing the screws, the bolts and everything like that. You just unlock the cam lock and off it goes. You are taking the router with you wherever you need, and in seconds you can put it back onto your router table. And I'm just going to show you a quick clip that I've asked Trent to send me, so I can share it with you and you can see how well it works and how easy it is to actually install this on the router table. Check this out. And as you can see, both of these, the router and that plate, they're meant to be together. It's so easy to use, and hopefully I'll get that plate by the time I'm going to be building my new workbench, in which this beast will be installed. Now I know so far in this video there's a lot of talking, but I've actually not shown you how this machine operates, and now it's the time to do just that. I just thought, you know, there's so many cool features packed in this machine that it was worth going through every single one of them. Now, it is a very powerful motor, 2200 watts, but it generates a lot of noise. Let me just show you on my decibel reader. Now, usually what I do, I test the machine probably about a meter away from it with my decibel reader. However, this is a router, and you're going to be next to it usually, or even if it's mounted to a table, again, you are going to be next to it. So, you know, 1 meter away probably makes no sense. We need to measure the noise from, you know, few centimeters away from the machine. As you've seen, over 100 decibels, so that is very, very loud, especially when, well, you are next to the machine. So from a safety perspective, if you are using this machine, ear protection at all times. So let's do a few cuts. And there you go. Chipboard, that's the material that's going to create the most amount of dust apart from MDF. Obviously a bit of a wobbly hand on my side, so ignore that. But overall, look at that. The dust extraction works superbly well. Yes, there is a tiny spray of dust, but nothing major at all, you know. Usually with a router, you would have a spray of dust flying everywhere, but in this case it's actually quite contained, and you do get just a tiny amount. And as I say, chipboard creates a lot of sawdust, and in this case I think this machine and the attachment manage that very, very well. Right then, I've got a spiral bit now. We're going to create a groove again in this chipboard, laminated with melamine, and we're going to use the top dust extraction here. So I'm just going to hook up my hose. Fits perfectly, and as I said, it's not flimsy, it's really nice and stable, and that's what you want from your dust extraction. Okay, so let's fire it up. And check that out. No dust, or hardly any dust around it at all. Absolutely fantastic extraction of the dust and the chips. Really, really good. Brilliant performance. Now, as I already mentioned, this video is not a review video. It's an overview video, okay? I wanted to show you the tool. I wanted to show you the specs, the features, what it has, what it can do, and how in general it performs. The review video will come down the line, probably in about 6 months' time, when I actually do have the time and the experience spent with this tool, and if I can see if there's any issues with it at all, if I came across something I don't like. So far, the only thing I can attach to, have a bit of a gripe for, is how loud it is, okay? But let's be honest, we need the air defendants when you're operating a tool like this anyway, especially when it's connected to a shop vac. So overall it should not be an issue. So far, my initial impressions are very, very good. Super capable machine. Dust collection is really decent in both setups, with the fence or with the extraction from the top. Everything seems to be very well made and thought through. I've not found anything that would be awkward or hard to use. The handles themselves are really nice and ergonomic, and it's really easy to hold this machine, and it does pack a lot of power. So yeah, you do need to hold it steadily. Now I think this particular machine is dedicated to professionals, carpenters. If you're fitting kitchens for the tabletops, that's the machine for it, especially with that reach as well. 80 millimeters, you know, you can install locks indoors, no problem at all. Plus for DIYers and woodworkers, you can super easily mount this on a router table without any need for some lifts or other contraptions. It will just work. Now, I want to be transparent with you as well. This router has been sent to me by Trend themselves free of charge. I am not getting paid for this video. They have not asked me to say anything nice about this, so take it as is. If you know me, if you watch my channel, you know that I always tell the truth how it is. So take it or leave it. These are my thoughts on this machine. At the moment, I am super pumped that I can use a machine like that. And I can't wait to make my new workbench and mount this bad boy underneath it. Hopefully, I will be able to get the Trend plate with the quick locking mechanism, so that would be absolutely awesome. But we'll see if funds allow me to purchase that plate. But yeah, so far, that's my findings. If you are interested in this tool, I'm going to drop a link down below in the description of this video so you can go and have a look yourselves. And for the future video, for the review video, if you've got any particular tasks or jobs that you want me to try with this router, let me know. Drop a comment down below and tell me what do you want me to test about this machine or show in my review video. So you will get the answer you're looking for as well. However, don't go yet, as I do have plenty of videos, review videos and project related videos around the workshop. And they're all located in these really cool playlists just over here. So click on those and maybe you'll find a video that will interest you. Hopefully, I'll see you in one of those videos there. Take care.